This video demonstrates how to indent your code on your website, and it also shows you how to add HTML and CSS comments. So, as you can see on this HTML, it's not indented. Usually I leave, of course the doc type is the first in HTML. I usually leave the head at the very edge, but everything inside the head I want to indent over. So I'm going to just use tabs. This is a little faster. I can tab, tab, and tab. So these are three things that are inside the head. Now the head opens, the head closes. The heads are in alignment with each other, and that's what we mean by nesting code. And then we show that with indents. Now the body is not part of the head; it never is. And so then the wrapper is inside of the body, and then inside the wrapper I have a header. So I put that, the header is inside, so there's two tabs, and the H1 inside of the header is 4 tabs in because it's inside all these things. Now I'm going to move the header out so the header opens and closes, and it's on the same line. They're in alignment with each other. And then the nav starts. I have to make the nav is not inside the header, and so it's in line with it. And these are just some menu items here. So I'm going to put these, and then put these inside of the navigation. And then when I close the navigation, it has to be in line with opening the navigation. The main section, same thing. That's in line with the nav because the nav closed. Now the main section, and this is something inside the main section. I have an unordered list inside the main section with 3 things in it, and those 3 things should be, oops, I have to go one more tab there. And then I indent the UL out to there. So anyway, so that is how we indent a website. And the same with the footer. The footer should go out to the same level as these other ones because it's inside of the wrapper. The small is inside of the footer, and I have to move this over. And the footer closes. The div now is in alignment with the wrapper, see? Because of how I indented it. But I left the body and the edge, and then it closes with HTML. We also do the same thing with our CSS. So all the property that we put inside the CSS, we indent over, so it's easier to see that this is inside of that, right? So the wrapper here has 3 things inside of it, so I'm going to put indents in front of all of them. Now, one more thing to cover in this video is how do you add comments? And on a website, a good comment, comments are something that you're going to write to other developers or their notes to yourself. And one thing, note to yourself that you might find very handy is to put in a note to saying that this section right here is the main section. And so when you make more pages for this website, this main section will be different on every page, but the rest of it will be the same. So let's add a note. So we start with our corner bracket, then we put exclamation point, and then to close out, and then 2 dashes, then to close it out, then we type something inside there, and you see that everything turned color because I didn't close this, right? It's very important to close a comment. So now I can type something in here and it won't be displayed on the page. So I can type in, this is the main section. And that text there helps me to find that because this is the section I'm going to replace when I work on the website, right? And like maybe put another comment is, now I'll just copy this one down, that this is the end of the main section. I'm going to put that like that. So now I can see that when I work on a website, I'm going to change this middle part of that. And that's what comments are for. They're for to help you and to help other developers. Now, just to make it complicated, we do comments differently in CSS. CSS uses the way most programming languages use comments. So it's a slash, a forward slash, which I have to type correctly, forward slash, then an asterisk. And that opens the comment, and you saw everything change colors, everything's inside the comment. So it's very important to close the comment, right? So I'm going to close the comment. And that's how most programming languages put in comments. So now you have to say, maybe say something like about the wrapper. The wrapper wraps around everything except for the body. But that might be helpful to someone else that may work on your code in the future. And so then you have a comment there. So that is how you add comments to your websites, and that is how you nest and indent your website.